I think one of the things that I've argued in my research is that we now find ourselves in a new age of media coverage around women's sport. And so we've really moved on with far more visibility in media coverage, far more excitement and hype. I think you can feel that with the fan base that's growing around the women's game.
But do you feel it's only just, reserved for France? You're in Nice right now. I presume you saw that England take on Scotland last night. But there were reports that, the stadium was half full. What was the atmosphere like?
Well, I think it's been really positive in many ways. I've been lucky enough to go out with the research that I'm doing on as part of an AHRC research project, looking at supporters of the England national team and their experiences and views around women's football. And so as part of that, I've been able to go out to the fan zone, went to the England-Scotland match last night, and it's a really, really positive atmosphere in many ways. I think quite different to what you'd have in some ways with the men's recent World Cup. Very family-friendly. The fan zones have been very mixed with a mixture of different nationalities. In some ways, it would have been better had the stadium been fuller, but still, it was a cracking atmosphere in the build-up to and during the game as well, I think. And that interaction between the English and Scottish fans was actually really nice.
That does make a change from when it's the men's who are competing, let's say. The United States, perhaps the favourites, having won more World Cups than any other nation. Who for you should we be looking out for?
Well, obviously slightly biased in that question, so I'm obviously going to back England, but I think that's really one of the really exciting things about this tournament, in that there are a number of teams that we could see in the final, and as I say, with the entering this new age around media coverage of women's football, I think one of the things that's going to really help with that is as the teams progress through the tournament. So what we found with the 2015 Women's World Cup in the UK was that was the very first time that not only did we see extensive media coverage of the women's game, but actually the female athletes were portrayed really positively. They were portrayed as real athletes rather than in previous tournaments. Female athletes have tended to be invisibilised. The women's football team don't receive any media coverage. And when they do feature, it tends to be highly sexualised. So I think as we're building on that platform now, and we're building on that for the 2019 Women's World Cup, and one of the things that will help, in all nations, but in the context of my research looking at England, will be as the team progress, if we can get to the knockout stages and beyond, then that's when the hype really will start to increase as well. But it's been really positive so far, but there's definitely scope, I think, to generate wider interest as well.